Let's see, Mike, Connecticut, you're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Hi. It just seems like you're making it out as though being poor and being on welfare is the easy ride, and it's nowhere near easy. It's actually a really difficult existence. I mean, not all of us are as lucky as you to have a father that brought them into the industry, you know?
My father didn't bring me into the industry. My father-in-law didn't even bring me.
Just made sure you got the cushy job.
No. Hold on a second. Do you want to know the truth about this, or you want to read the blogs?
I'd love to know the truth.
Well, I started in college radio, and then I transferred to another college, and while programming that college radio station and going full-time and playing on the hockey team, I interned at a radio station. And then I transferred myself. I got good enough grades to get into the University of Florida, and I worked the night shift at the local rock station. And then I graduated with my degree in journalism, and I worked 2 to 3 jobs at a time trying to get my radio career off the ground. And I was a rock DJ.
Your dad actually.
No, it's not my dad. It was hold on. It was my wife, actually. I didn't know my wife at the time. She used to listen to me on the air as a rock DJ, giving my opinions, and her father happened to be the program director at WABC. He thought to himself, wow, my daughter never spoke of anyone like this before. Maybe I'll check him out. And then he listened to me and offered me a job to fill in on the weekends only for then Mark Levin 10 years ago. And then I actually performed well. I did well. When Mark went full-time, I inherited his show, and then I got another job with WGY in Albany, and one lucky weekend, Mel Karmazin, the CEO of this company, was driving around in a rental car listening to WABC, and he heard me on the air and made a note to himself to hire me. So that's the real story, if you care to.
Well,
I worked for it, sir. No, I worked for it. No, I didn't make a political connection. I worked for it. I worked for everything I've had in my life.
So you mean to tell me that you honestly think the people that are struggling through welfare don't work to survive?
That's not the point, sir.
Well, no. You just acted.
No, you first called up. You first called up. You acted like I was Charlie Sheen and I was living off my daddy's last name. You made it sound like I was Chelsea. No, hold on, Mike. First you called up and you tried to belittle me. Now I'm responding and you don't like it. You make it sound like I'm Bill Clinton's daughter and I got a job at NBC News because I had some news experience. Or I'm Bill Clinton's daughter who got a job at Avenue Capital because my degree in history from Stanford University provided me with all the tools I would need to advise, a hedge fund. I wasn't just put in that chair because my last name was Clinton. You make it sound like I'm one of those people, like I'm a Kennedy or something, sir.
And you make it sound like.
Well, no, hold on a second. You came at me as if I was some beneficiary of privilege, but you don't seem to have a problem with the beneficiaries of privilege so long as they're left-wing liberals.
No, I have a problem with all of them, including you.
Mike, if you're going to personally belittle me, I want to know how who's now my wife, who then I never met, didn't know, only met through my employment at WABC and hit it off with, and now we're married and have a child together. I want to know how the fact that somebody was listening to me and thought enough of, no different than a band being heard in a club, luckily when a record rep stops in, how my moment that I had been preparing for my entire life, because luck is the moment where preparation meets opportunity, that I was performing my job as the best of my abilities. And that paid off. I want you to tell me how that somehow. No, Mike, I want you to tell me. I'm going to hang.
You never would have been able to have the privileged life you have.
What privileged life do I have, sir? What do you know about me?
You have a pretty privileged life compared to a majority of Americans.
Tell me about my privileges.
About your privileges?
Yeah.
So you have a national audience.
Yeah.
I
earned it.
Pretty much go into any environment that you want to because of your press credentials. You have.
Hold on. I don't have press credentials. Mike, hold. I don't have press credentials. I'm not a member of the media. I don't work for a news organization. I'm not on POTUS. I don't work for CNN or Fox News. I can't use my identity as a radio talk show host to walk into whatever environment I want.
So you mean to tell me that your Sirius credentials don't get you into some areas that other people can't get into?
Other than the building here at Sirius, no.
Yeah, see, again, if you came down to the fact that if you had a father that wasn't there and a mother that was working two jobs just to help you survive, you wouldn't be where you're at. You would be where everyone else.
So what you're saying is the government has to put shackles on me and people like me in the name of people whose lot in life isn't as good as mine.
No, you just need to be aware of the fact.
I'm very well aware of it, sir.
By comparison to the majority of people.
I'm very well aware of it, sir. But where? Just tell now. Tell me how that translates into government power, sir. Pull out your copy of the Constitution. You're a really smart person from Connecticut. Stop talking for a second. Okay. You're a waste of time. You're a waste of time. The problem I have with these people, you can leave them there with yes, we're turning down his volume so there's not a wall of sound. They can't identify the origin of debt or the government power to enforce it. Now, Mike, I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain this because people in Connecticut are really smart. I assume you're really smart. You tell me how this begets a new government power at the federal level.
I'm not making a political point. I'm saying you have no idea what it's like to have a life that's not as privileged as yours. And for you to
How do you know? How do you know this, sir? Can you honestly say that you know enough about me and what I went through in my life that you know this to be true?
Because if you've actually had the experience of growing up in a fatherless household with a mother working 2 jobs, you wouldn't have the mentality you do. Your mentality comes from the privilege you've experienced.
So in other words, unless I'm a fake progressive who secures wealth and property but cries a tear and wears a little red T-shirt because I care about world AIDS, unless I'm bleeding my heart out with fake pontifications about class warfare, I'm some unconcerned lump of coal for a heart kind of guy. That's all you got? Come to me when you grow up.